Edutopia, one of the most prestigious organizations for education, just published a video called Defending a Teacher's Right to Unplug. This video is so important right now in the midst of this pandemic, with the relentless, always on culture that's mentioned in the video that I feel as an educator. And it also talks about how technology is depriving the essential opportunity for teachers and educators to recharge. Hello, and welcome to Education Noire. I'm Kimberly Deneen, and today's video is all about my take on that video, in addition to adding a component to that video that Edutopia published, all about self-care. And that's what this video is about today. Let's get into the video. Let's begin by defining exactly what self-care is. Self-care, according to NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, defines self-care as any activity that improves our health and well-being. They have also come up with 6 components of self-care, and they are physical, psychological, spiritual, social, emotional, and professional. So those are the 6 components of self-care. If you stay to the end, you'll find out how you can get your own self-care toolkit from Education Noire. So please stick around to the end of the video and you will find out exactly how to get your self-care toolkit for free. All right, so let's continue. Why is this important for educators? In my research for this video, I found that teachers and nurses have the highest stress rate of any career. That's huge, because if that's the case, imagine how much more stress educators are under right now in teaching in the midst of a pandemic. So self-care is more important now than ever. And in that video that Edutopia did on defending teachers' rights to unplug, they also talked about how teachers are given technology with very little instruction on how to effectively use that technology. The teachers have been pressured let me say they feel pressured to respond to emails even after work hours. Often parents and administration do not honor the office hours of teachers, right? So self-care is more important now than ever because of this always on culture that that probably not just educators feel, but probably many people are feeling right now, because we have been in that whole remote work situation. And so now the boundaries of downtime and free time are kind of blurred between work. So let's continue with our video in regards to self-care practices for educators. So there are many ways that you can include self-care in your daily practice. And keep in mind that self-care will look different for everyone. It's not going to be the same. It's not a set standard, because my likes are different from your likes. Self-care practices and habits could be small scale or large scale. A small scale self-care practice could simply be taking a break from work, just to do some deep breathing to calm the nerves, to relax, to get centered again. It also could be as simple as packing a healthy lunch daily, so that you know so that you can monitor your diet even in stressful situations, right? Versus shoving something unhealthy down your mouth, to eat. These self-care practices could be large scale, where you decide you're going to commit to getting a massage at least once a month, or it could be as simple as taking a getaway weekend every other month. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like to you that you need, is what you would put in your self-care plan. Educators often confuse self-indulgence with self-care. Self-indulgence could be simply binge watching a favorite show. Self-indulgence could be eating too much of a comfort food or eating comfort food, right? Self-indulgence could be going on a shopping spree that may or may not hurt that person financially. But these things do not have lasting benefits. Self-care practices have lasting benefits, and these are the things that we want to focus on. So some things that teachers can, and educators, I'm going to be using those terms interchangeably, but some things that educators can do at work is simply plan 10 to 20 minutes a day where they take a break to decompress. On that break, the teacher or educator could simply use some deep breathing techniques to help alleviate any stress, or feeling charged all the time. Breathing exercises help us calm ourselves, help us relax. So those are some things that we can do. Having self-compassion is a huge self-care practice. We often extend compassion to others so easily, and sometimes we're extremely hard on ourselves. So practicing self-compassion is big. Improving our self-image is also a great self-care practice. It could be something as simple as wearing a dress on Thursdays to work. Putting on makeup could be a way to improve self-image. There's also something called an emergency self-care pack. Bringing an emergency self-care pack to work can help with stress while at work. In your self-care pack, you would want to have things that you enjoy, things that may help you relax, like maybe packing an eye mask that soothes your face, it soothes your body and your mind. Wearing that for a few minutes at work can help you decompress. You may also want to have maybe some aromatherapy that you can just have a diffuser at work that helps. Sometimes just certain smells help calm and relax us, especially the scent of lavender. Having that at work is beneficial for you as an educator. However, it can also be beneficial for your students. Having a favorite plant at work that you can look at, just things like that, just small things, can make a big difference in your self-care practice. And if you stay till the end, you will find out how you can get your free self-care toolkit from Education Noire. And also take a minute to tap that like button if you're getting value out of this video so far. Another thing you want to do is you want to recognize your things that could trigger stress, right? You want to recognize your emotions. You want to process your emotions. You want to try to do that in the moment. However, sometimes it depends on the situation. You may not be able to actually do that in the moment. But you can take some time after work to process your emotions. You can take time to recognize and locate your feelings. I personally deal with something called codependency. So, one of the characteristics of codependence is that we have a hard time locating our emotions and our feelings. Sometimes we have a hard time processing them because we don't know like how we're feeling. So take time to reflect on that at the end of your day, or even when you get home. You may also want to journal, and you can journal about your feelings and process them through journaling. You also want to identify what possible triggers could occur throughout the day so that you can be ready for them. Sometimes I do that. I kind of I know my triggers now because I've been in education for so long, and I have a 12-step recovery background because of the codependency. So I know my triggers, and I know what stresses me. One of my triggers is inconsistency in my schedule, right? Okay, so I get to work, I find out, oh, they're having this whole assembly, and I won't see my fourth period because of the assembly. So I know that these things can happen. So I do not allow them to stress me the way that they used to, because I don't do well with inconsistency, but I know it happens. So now it's just kind of like, okay, well, I'm not, I like to keep my classes all on the same schedule. So I make a plan for that in advance. So know what your triggers are. Also, social support is extremely important. At my job, we have a group of us. We call ourselves the Lunch Bunch. We eat lunch together every day. That is something that I look forward to every day while I'm at work, having lunch with them. And it's a time very enjoyable. It's fun. I get to decompress. Woosah. And normally we don't even talk about things that are happening at work. We usually just talk about, life stuff and silly stuff. And so it's a great time for me. And that's part of my social component of my self-care plan. I make sure that I have lunch with my lunch bunch. Also, having lunch with or dinner or an outing with your family or friends. These things are important to our self-care plan. And remember to stay to the end so you can get your free self-care toolkit. Also, staying organized at work is another thing that I do. That's part of my self-care plan. It reduces my stress. So what I do before I leave work each day, I clean off my desk. My desk is clean. And so when I start my next day, I can get right into what tasks need to be done versus cleaning off my desk. And if you're working at home, make sure that your home workspace is organized as well so that you can minimize your stress. Anything we can do to minimize our stress helps with our self-care plan. In addition to all of these things, you want to celebrate your successes, big or small. Celebrate your successes. My student came to school one day and he said, Madam Braxton, he said, if I didn't have your class today, I wasn't coming to school. I really, your class is my favorite class. That's a win for me. And I celebrated it on the inside, and then I told my lunch bunch about it to celebrate, and they, celebrated with me. So celebrate your successes. This year I finished my literacy specialist and literacy coach postgraduate certification, and I've already passed my praxis test for that. And I'm just really excited about that. And yes, I celebrated that. That's a big accomplishment for me. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And I, celebrated that. Also, you want to own your no. Own your no. We have to say no sometimes at work. And I've heard someone say, no is a holy word. Yes, it is. Because when you say no to certain things, you honor yourself. So, because I was in that literacy specialist program this year, I had to say no to some things. I couldn't join certain committees. I couldn't commit to certain things because I knew the road ahead was going to require my full attention. So, own your no. It is okay for you to say no, and keep in mind that your no may be not no forever, but just no for right now. And that's what my no was, because I knew for the whole fall semester that I was going to be bogged down writing case studies, providing reading intervention, writing papers. I knew I wasn't going to have time to say yes to anything extra at work for that time. However, I knew I could provide some support for the hospitality committee because I knew our bigger events were going to be happening around the Christmas holidays and then further on down the line. So I can say yes to that particular committee because I know most of the work would take place after my coursework. And then also, I want to say to you, if you feel stuck, be sure to seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with seeking professional help. When if I have a broken finger, I'm gonna go to the doctor, right? If I have a nagging stomach ache that persists and persists, I'm gonna go see a medical doctor, right? And if we feel stuck mentally, we can't get past a certain point, then it's okay to seek professional help, whatever that means for you. If it's counseling, if it's going to see a therapist, whatever that means, if it's going to group counseling, recovery, like I attend recovery for codependency, that's fine. Get professional help. You are worth it, and you show up as your best self for yourself, and then you also show up as your best self for your students. So you want to prioritize self-care by creating a self-care plan. So this video is kind of just a quick and dirty, as they say, on self-care, what it is, why it's important for educators. You also want to go a step further and create your own self-care plan. And if you look in the description, there's going to be a link where you click on that link. You give just a little bit of information. I will not spam you. I want to send you the free self-care toolkit, where you can actually go through all the steps of creating a self-care plan. In the self-care plan that I've created with Education Noire, it's going to be 7 steps on there, because I've added finances to the self-care plan. Because guess what? Finances can be a huge stressor. I've been in a position where finances was very stressful for me. And so if we create a plan to address that, it won't be as stressful. So I've added the finances. So there will be 7 categories. So that's physical, psychological, social, spiritual, professional, and did I mention social? I feel like I'm forgetting one. But you will also have finances. So there will be 7 components on your self-care plan. So, thank you so much for watching today. Please remember to like and subscribe. And if you click on the notification bell, you will also be notified when new videos are published with Education Noire. Thank you for joining us. And remember to go to the description so you can get your free self-care toolkit. Until next time.